Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made some statements that are, I would say, concerning because they express Russia's current position towards negotiations. And they said that Russia has no chance of negotiating any peace with Ukraine under the current situation. And the current situation, Lavrov says, is the Western countries, the West, the Americans in this case, I would guess, have no intention of talking about any peace, which is we're going to keep going to war as we have been for about 2 years. So that's one aspect. And the other one, Sergei Lavrov also states that the Americans switched or changed a little bit their goal. Is not inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia, but now is preventing Russia from winning. So it's a little bit a notch below what they said, we're going to beat you up. No, we have to prevent them to win. Now you can say, well, it's kind of related, but it's not really. One thing is when I'm going to knock you out, or the other one is I want to make sure you don't knock me out. It's two different things. So in this case, I think, according to Lavrov, his assessment, the US is not trying to knock out Russia because it can't, but is trying not to be knocked out by the Russians. So let's look at this article coming from Russia Today on the February 14th, 2024. No chance of negotiated peace with Ukraine, Lavrov. Western nations want a Russian defeat and are not prepared to compromise, the foreign minister has told MPs. Well, what do you expect? I think he showed up in front of the Duma and he had a little speech over there. I read it in a different article. So, the West will not offer a realistic diplomatic solution to the Ukraine conflict because the US and its allies are still intent on inflicting a strategic defeat on Moscow, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Wednesday. Well, if we are to be honest, why would they? I mean, they don't want you to succeed. Why would they just stop? They want to make sure that you are dismantled and kneeled. That's the final goal here. Briefing Russian MPs on his ministry's work and the current international situation, Lavrov stated that Moscow is, and I'm quoting, at the advance guard in the fight for a better future, adding that the Western-dominated system is giving way to a multipolar world. Yeah, that's true, Western-dominated system. If they don't like you, they're going to kick you out of their system and then impose sanctions and strangle you. You're going to be starving. Well, if you don't have, how should I put it, if you didn't plan ahead like the Russians, and Russia is a rich country and you can't just starve it. So, the US and its allies, however, remain committed to waging a hybrid war against anyone that prioritizes national interests, as evidenced by the continued Ukraine conflict, Lavrov claimed. There has been a shift in Western rhetoric due to Moscow's battlefield successes, according to the minister, with officials now focusing on preventing a Russian victory rather than ensuring its defeat. Got that? Good to go. Nonetheless, their core policy of trying to damage Russia remains the same, Lavrov said, meaning the conflict is unlikely to be resolved diplomatically. That means it's going to be resolved, I win and you can't do shit to me. Or maybe endless war. And I'm quoting, considering that those who declared a war on us offer no serious proposals and are unwilling to respect our interests and their reality on the ground, getting an agreement at the negotiating table will certainly be impossible. No such scenario is foreseen. See how they see it? They see it that these guys are unwilling to respect our interests, which I totally agree with the Russians. And it said, those who declared war on us. Okay, well, If you just want to take it just from February 24th, 2022, yeah, no, they didn't declare, the Russians declared war, obviously they advanced. Well, talk to the Israelis regarding that one. Lavrov insisted that the West had initiated the conflict through its continued quest for global domination and exceptionalism. Russia, meanwhile, is working with its allies to dismantle the current system, which it perceives as colonialist in nature, he told the lawmakers. US President Joe Biden reiterated his Ukraine policy on Tuesday, urging the House of Representatives to adopt a Senate-approved foreign aid package including roughly $60 billion for Kiev. The money will mostly fund arms production in the US and will help Ukraine oppose the, and I'm quoting, vicious onslaught by Russia, Biden claimed. And I'm quoting this imbecile Biden. The United States pulled together a coalition of nearly 50 nations to support Ukraine. Now, those are vassal states. Now you know who's who, what's what. That's why whenever you're gonna hear at United Nations around 50, 60 countries, 40 some countries initiating something or voting in favor of something regarding Ukraine, you know those are the yes sir countries on this planet. The rest are left alone, or Al Capone that has no interest or no power over. Remember, there will be 50 if you count Europe, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Japan, Canada, maybe, I don't know, now Milei with his Argentina, this is going to screw up Argentina, and about, I don't know, Palau and Papua New Guinea and Papalaka Koloko, then yeah, you get about 50. Remember, when you're going to see that, and they always say, about 50 states said this, and 50 states said it, that's the same ones. It's like you have a criminal organization made out of 50 people, and you always have, hey, he has an alibi, that's 50 people over there, that's the alibi, and it's always the same alibi, the same guys, like, hey, no, I was with these guys, of course, or hey, I have witnesses. The same guys are always the witnesses regarding where the attack occurs. If it occurs in Libya, we got the 50 countries alibi and witnesses. If it occurs in let's say Iraq, the same way. If you have in Afghanistan, the same way. Syria, as I said, Libya and Yugoslavia, the same alibis, the same garbage. Now it increased a little bit because these guys send their tentacles further away, and they hit now Russia with the tentacles, and Russia now reacted by smacking these guys, and these guys say, hey, what are you doing? You can't do that. Well, see where your tentacles are. And if you want to look at the tentacles, see where the United States is on the map and Russia is, and how come they converge in Ukraine. Did Russia move towards the, how do you call it, octopus, the United States of America, or just the tentacles of the octopus touched Russia's body? Well, I think the second option is true. So when you talk about expanding and protecting and imperialist Russia, no. It's exactly the other way around. I'm not saying that Russia might not want to have its sphere of influence enlarged. Yes, of course it wants that. That's why they say our interests are ignored. You're too close. You don't care about us, we're going to get to war. Well, I think that would happen to you if you sit down in a bus and someone sits next to you. Someone who came from there sits next to you and then starts touching you little by little, putting his hand wherever he is not supposed to even be around. What would you do? Smack the motherfucker, right? Because you can't call the police. The police is not available. So 50 nations to support Ukraine, and I'm quoting Biden again. We unified NATO. No, you took control of NATO and you show, it was always like this. You just show it now. We expanded it. There you go. We can't walk away now, the leader declared. Really? Why not? Because everything is working according to their plan. So they say, we can't walk away now. We're doing okay for us. Why? Because of Russia. Do you think this doesn't sound like a plan? I think it sounds like a plan to me. And I think I'm allowed to have this kind of imbecilic thoughts. Am I? Now, If approved, the bill would raise the amount of military assistance provided to Ukraine by the US since the outbreak of hostilities in February 2022 to some $170 billion. My fellow Americans, why don't you look and see how much it would cost to build a kindergarten or a school or a hospital or a highway, freeway. Freeways are garbage. I'm talking about Michigan. Garbage. They're mostly on concrete and not. The roads here are not gravel. That's the only thing you get if you drive your car over them. Anything else is just some concrete asphalt that is like reminds me of Romania. Garbage. It's not that bad. They're not that bad. But still, you drive a car and it's the only advantage you got is not mud on it or gravel. That's all. The rest is like to drive on a freaking dirt road without the dirt. That's it. And even a dirt road is flatter than the asphalt and the concrete in this. I'm just talking about state of Michigan. So go in 94, go in 96. No, it's easy. Interstate 96 and 94. And not only that, not only those. Go in 75, Interstate 75. Go in 69, not that kind of 69, Interstate 69. 127, garbage. You drive a car and it's like boom, 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 boom. You can't have a car. You need a tank for this kind of things. And they send $170 billion. Go, I don't know if when it was the last time you went to hospital, and I hope you don't have to go, or to a school. And not one school. I worked with tens of schools. All right, tens of schools. I went to hospital in my capacity, my job capacity. This garbage is the level is about 1950s. 1950s, that's the level. If you find some new hospital, that's one. There's one, but the other two are just big hospitals. And they send $170 billion. And you don't have a infrastructure, right? I know I saw a study, I can't remember how long it was, maybe 10 years ago, something like this, where they said how many bridges in the United States of America are unsafe. They passed their guarantee or something like this, safety guarantee, about 50 years. I know about like 50,000 bridges in the United States of America are not safe. They're like to collapse. And we send $170 billion over there. What the fuck is this? And they talk about, hey, we the American people. Shut the hell up. It's not we the American people. It's them and it's us. As I always say, like on a carcass, we are the maggots over there. And the carcass is given to us by these guys. And we fight with one another. Hey, your balls are smaller than mine. Your eye color is this. You are like this. Your hair is like this. You identify as that. And they go with the loot in the sacks. And not that sack, but other sacks. Unbelievable. And these guys, yes, there's no chance. They will not, those guys don't want to negotiate. Why would they? Did you hear Biden over there? We're doing just great, just fantastic. We got unified now. We got 50 countries. We got NATO. We're expanding, actually. That's good. Our military-industrial complex makes a lot of money. The people will shut the fuck up because we are at war. And we make some fat cats getting even fatter. That's the way it is, my friends, and this is the free world. Now is out. It was like this, a little bit a smaller level and a little bit hidden. Right now it's right there. And they tell you it's for your own good. This is garbage, but well, until we guys do not learn this lesson and see how this world works, we're just going to be, again, little slaves on the plantation, on a modern plantation. With the boss being, we don't even know who those guys are. We know the interest, but the donors and all that, but we don't know exactly who's this guy or that guy. They're not Musk or Zuckerberg or what is the other guy's whistles, Bezos from Amazon. They're not these guys. No, it's something else. Someone that has the guns, big guns. I'm talking not literally guns. Those are the guys in charge. Why? Because they can take care of all these 3 billionaires in 5 minutes, an operation. In 5 minutes, all 3 of them arrested, with all the papers okay. Suspicious of this, stamped, signed by a judge. You want 50 judges? 50 judges you will have on that arrest warrant if they want. But the other way doesn't work. The other guys cannot do this to the other guys. And they get arrested. And then what? Interviewed? You're never going to hear from these guys. And they're going to tell you who's who, what's what. They will tell you. That's the way it functions. If I disappear tomorrow, you will never know where I'm at. And they can tell you anything they want. Are you going to contact my family, my friends, my acquaintances? Hey, where is Emil? Emil was arrested by some black vans showed up at his properties, right? And picked a piece of Emil and put him together and took him. We don't know where. Well, and then Emil went to Tahiti. Go and find Emil in Tahiti. Go to Tahiti, don't find Emil. Where is Emil? I don't know. Somewhere decomposing with an acid or something. Barrel. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. And I'm not talking about me. I give an example. It can happen to anyone. See you later, my friends.